Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to House of Flavour, the show where we get inside the minds of a bartender and a professional chef to see really what's going on when we're talking food and drink pairing. I'm your host, Jack.
And I'm Paul.
And today we are joined by the wonderful Miss Gizzie Erskine. Hello.
Hi there.
How you doing?
Fantastic. Looking forward to eating all this. A bit scared of what's going on here, but...
Excellent.
Don't you worry, you're in safe hands.
Today we've got a really wicked lineup for you. We are going to be tasting some delicious Tanqueray number 10, and Paul and I have come up with a lovely food and drink pairing to go with it. I've got some plans. I know we should just taste the liquid as it is, but I just think Tanqueray number 10 has been kind of with me throughout my whole career. It's the bartender's favourite. It's one of the most awarded gins in the world.
I love a martini. It's got to be my favourite drink.
Shaken or stirred?
Do you know what? I think a stirred. I much prefer a stirred.
Thank you very much. He asked a very heathen question there, because he answered
Exactly.
correctly. Now, I'm not going to garnish this one. Normally, for a Tanqueray number 10, I kind of garnish it with a lovely slice of grapefruit peel.
Yep.
But I think because we're tasting it, we don't want to kind of take away from what's in the liquid. And in the liquid, you've got all this lovely fresh whole citrus. So I think it's going to come out beautifully anyway. Let's have a wee go. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
On the palate, it's all fresh citrus. It's got that higher ABV at 47.3, so it carries that flavour profile through. And the chamomile on the finish is super delicious. For me, the word I like to describe it is unctuous.
Oof.
Unctuous. An unctuous juicy boy.
Yeah.
So, I've been making Tanqueray number 10 Gibsons pretty much at every restaurant that I've ever had. So it's we call them Gizzie's Gibsons. It's very creative idea.
So
What's the secret? What's the secret? What makes it Gizzie?
Lots of pickled onions, but we actually pickle our onions.
that's the thing,
yeah.
right? Because if you're a chef, you're only as good as your last pickled onion.
Yeah. That is famous.
Yeah. So, Chef Paul,
Yes.
you've had a little taste of some Tanqueray number 10.
Yes.
What have you come up with to pair with it?
So today, I mean, to go with all the kind of the citrus notes in here, I thought let's go a bit mineral. So we're going to do butter poached oysters. So we're going to cook it in some goat's butter, reduced mushroom, and then some mushroom licorice. So not actual licorice, mushroom licorice.
Is that like black mushroom?
Black mushroom.
Cool trend,
indeed,
that
yeah.
cool trend.
Actually, yeah, I'm looking forward to this.
So in the oyster, you'll notice this little bit here.
Yeah.
That's a fake opening, so we're just going to break that off.
Can I just say quickly, I'm butting in here. I had a moment when I was training to be a chef where I had to clean about 1 million mussels, and it's become one of my biggest fear now, barnacles.
All the hermit crabs coming out.
Yeah, it's not on.
I was looking at these
It's
thinking,
not.
are they gonna get me?
You've got a nice clean one there,
Okay.
except for the bottom.
So then we're just going to poke our knife into there. Are you in?
It's in, I think.
Right.
Right.
And then you're just going to, like a seesaw, we're just going to very lightly
Oh, that's good too.
pop it.
That is a good tip.
Oh.
And then we're just going to run our knife, the flat edge, over the top, which is going to cut the oyster away from it.
Oh,
got it?
I don't know that noise. It's like nails on a chalkboard. Oh.
There you go, pro. There's more zinc and minerals in oysters than any other food source in the world. Did you know that, Jack?
No, that's very cool.
So super healthy, super good for you. So what we're going to do,
I want to eat this immediately.
pop the oyster juice and then just use the knife, again the flat edge, we're just going to cut it right out, like so.
Very good.
Voila, done. Next process, we got some mushroom stock, which is made from a mixture of trompet mushrooms, chestnut mushrooms, which we've just put through like a meat grinder, so like same way you like mince beef for a burger. We've just done that with mushrooms. And then we've cooked that on the stove, cooked all the liquid out, and then pressed it. So it's essentially just mushroom juice, okay?
Eau de mushroom.
Eau de mushroom. And then next, if you can pass me this one right here, please.
Certainly can.
So this bad boy, get out of the nose on that.
Holy moly.
So this is buckwheat koji, again minced mushrooms, and then about sort of good 4 years. So essentially what we've made here is a mushroom soy.
You made this is 4 years old?
Yes.
Did you make it yourself?
I did indeed.
Oof.
So we're just going to add this into it.
Did you know what you're going to use it for 4 years ago?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
That is like really beautifully fermented.
Whilst this is warming, Gizzie, tell me about the style of food you're doing at your new cafe. Can I call it a cafe? Because I feel like it's
I'm not quite sure what it is yet.
cafe, cafe, restaurant.
I mean, we started it to be like, it was going to be sort of, it's in Margate, it's called Love Cafe. I've opened it up with my good friend Carl Barat, who's in the band called Libertines, and his girlfriend Edie, and his actual old manager Ronnie. So we've kind of got this kind of real, it's like a real music industry feel space. It's an old Scooter Rally cafe that used to put on loads of gigs. So we wanted to create a real sort of cafe, proper British cafe culture. We've got like, do you know the Rare Tea Lady? She's making all our tea and urns, yeah.
Nice.
And then we've got, you know, some of the best coffee in the country by a company called Crave. And, you know, we've really sort of looked at all the details. We're sourcing some really beautiful Kentish produce. I mean, one of my key dishes is doing, I make a brioche with beef dripping, and then we fry that off in mulled beef dripping, and then some Marmite. Make the best actually. I'd like to fight anyone for this privilege. A steak tartare with some mirin and soy cured yolks.
Are you open tomorrow?
we're not. Sadly.
Margate's what, like an hour on the train from London?
Mostly, an hour and a half.
Oh, okay, I'll be there.
Yeah, it's really great.
I can't wait, mate.
So, could you please pass me this goat's butter and a little
I
spoon?
can.
Cool.
Yes, I
Spoony boy. So what we've done here is we've just reduced this down by about 2/3. So super, super intense, okay? And then
It smells absolutely incredible.
it is mental.
It's almost like
orient-
beefy.
Yes. So we're gonna just bit by bit add a little bit of butter. Bit of butter makes it better.
Yes.
So I'm using goat's butter, but you can use cow's butter. I just like the goat's butter because it's just a bit more kind of farmy in flavour, and I just think that goes really nicely with kind of mushrooms. And,
I've never seen goat's butter in the kind of general supermarket.
Oh, you can get it. You buy it everywhere.
I think it's now, and it's really good if you're lactose intolerant as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, exactly. Because
It's got lower-
goat's butter has almost no lactose.
Oh, I never knew that.
Yeah, so you
So
can, like,
goat's cheese is good too for that.
Yeah,
Okay, good.
This is absolutely genius. It's something so simple, but like,
You know what? I
absolutely
like,
genius.
if you haven't got time to make your own mushroom stock, you could quite easily use like a vegetable bouillon cube. You could do whatever.
You haven't got 4 years to make your own.
Yeah, you can use like a 2-year soy sauce, or you can use. I mean, there's really great soy sauces out there in the market, but I mean, I'm sure you're the same. You know, it's just nice to make your own. So,
Yeah.
see how it's thickening up here.
Proper butter sauce. I'm like,
Proper butter. So, we are literally about a minute off, Jack, so you might want to start your little boozy boy.
Oh yes, what we're tasting with our delicious mushrooms. So what I've come up with is a coastal highball. I love bubbles, I love carbonation. I seem to do it in so many of my drinks when I'm not drinking martinis. And so what we've got is a cucumber and samphire cordial. We've redistilled some Tanqueray number 10 with some oyster shell that we bashed up with a mallet, infused for about 48 hours, and then we distilled that. And then we added a little bit of salty finger.
Very nice.
And
Sea jelly beans.
And some, sea jelly beans, and some nori to dilute it. Give this a wee little smell. This is the oyster shell Tanqueray number 10. So all the citrus, but also that kind of nice maritime vibe.
So how do you extract you literally just smash up the shells? And
Yeah.
That's interesting.
In a bag, smash it up. So I'll just talk you guys through quickly how to make this really nice light cordial. This is just it's gonna definitely be blue Peter, but we've just added some cucumber and samphire to a jar. Depending on how much you want to make, you just, really fill it up. And then we've just covered it in sugar and a little bit of citric acid. And essentially that's gonna extract all the liquid out of it, and then you simply run it through a filter at the end, and it's good to go.
If you couldn't get citric acid, could you just do a squeeze of lemon juice?
You absolutely can, but citric acid you can get in Sainsbury's in the baking art. But yes, a squeeze of lemon will be absolutely fine. So Once you combine that all together and you leave it to sit for about 24 hours, it should be plenty of liquid. And then you've got your cordial, and essentially the job's done. You know, I can't really show you how to redistill on the show with some oyster shells, but my drink's done because, you know, I made it earlier.
Okay, well in that case, shall we go? Right,
Tell me.
So I've just turned it completely off the heat. It's still very much hot. I'm gonna pour.
Can we put these on?
Yes, exactly, please, just in the middle. Beautiful. So, oyster juice in. I'm gonna bring this back to the boil, and I'm literally just gonna put the oysters in it and then leave it for a minute. That's all it needs.
Is it going to be boiling whilst you're in there?
See it bubbling away?
Yes.
Off we go. In with our oysters. 1, 2, and
Mine.
3.
I'm excited.
It's beautiful. It's sort of like, I mean, obviously all of these are really complex flavours with an enormous amount of thought and complexity in the cooking, but actually the simplicity is still also really there as well.
It's prep heavy, but it's in terms of actually putting it up, it's relatively easy.
All the years I worked with you, Paul, it seems to be like that's your style. You do 4 years worth of prep. But then actually for a dinner, it's like the plating up's really quick, which I love.
So let's talk about those licorice notes we got in the gin. So I'm not actually using licorice, but what I've made is mushroom licorice.
Wow.
So if you smell that.
I mean, that's insane. And it looks like licorice, and that's completely bonkers.
It is bonkers.
What have you done to get to that?
So
it fell down the back of the oven and you forgot about it.
I did actually forget about it. So this kind of came about by mistake. So I boiled it in some maple syrup, mushroom, soy, and some kombu seaweed. So boiled down the mushrooms, and then I smoked it, and I put it in the hot cupboard at work and forgot about it for about 3 months. Until one of my chefs was cleaning down and said, "Chef, you know you've got mushrooms in here?" I was like, "Ah." And then I tasted it and I was like, that tastes like licorice. And then this kind of dish is revolved around that. So those oysters are good to go now. So.
And I assume you did that because of the botanicals in Tanqueray number 10.
100%. Well, I mean, this is kind of what this show's about.
You're quite smart, aren't you?
Well, thank you.
So as well as the citrus in Tanqueray 10, there's that licorice, there's a bit of coriander seeds, some juniper, and some angelica. So they're really nice.
Grapefruit.
And obviously the citrus, the grapefruit and the chamomile.
So, Gizzie, if you mind just putting a little microplane of the grapefruit over the oysters, please.
We're talking like that much?
Yeah, just a little tickle.
Yeah.
Just a little tickle. So, licorice on, and then we're going to also put some wild fennel tops as well. Again, kind of playing around with those kind of aniseeds, so different kind of pitches of aniseed notes, which is going to work really, really well.
Fantastic.
So not a tweezy
And then we're
chef.
done.
Should we?
It ain't easy being tweezy.
It's like so alien.
That's good. I like that. I'm gonna get these drinks poured.
Yeah. We're just going to put a little tickle of fresh grapefruit on there as well.
This delicious cocktail is done. What we've done is we've combined everything. We've got the cucumber and samphire cordial. We actually snuck in a little bit of oyster water, and then we've got that lovely oyster shell gin in there. So it's really light and fizzy. We've carbonated it at really high pressure and low temperatures to retain those lovely bubbles.
That's quite an ice cube as well.
I mean, it's all about the ice. The ice is the majority of the drink, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, you want crystal clear ice, very dense, and it's going to keep the drink nice and cold.
Garnish, no garnish?
Garnish, we've got those salty fingers, which we use to dilute the drink, but we're also going to just pop it on top to add like a nice salty, fresh coastal kick.
Shall we eat? Because I'm starving.
Yeah.
So starving. Here, I'm gonna pass
We
this
just.
over to you.
Oh yeah.
One for you.
Sip of this first.
I would say have a little sip to kind of cleanse your palate, and then we'll eat this delicious oyster, and then maybe go back and see what's going on with the pairing.
Yep.
Cheers.
Cheers again. This is fun. Oh, that's outrageous.
That cucumber.
Oh my God.
With the richness of the butter and the oyster and the XO sauce, I think it's gonna lighten it and cut through.
That's like the most umami-rich drink I think I've ever had, which is, I know is gonna like, you know, the amount of umami that I know is gonna be in this.
Amazing.
It's good.
And I really love like that fresh kind of citrus grapefruit vibe coming from the Tanqueray number 10.
Yeah.
Right, guys.
Let's do it.
We're just throwing it down.
Shots.
Cheers,
Cheers,
guys. My God.
Oh.
Oh my God. That's outstanding.
I think we've done well today. Thank you so much.
That's absolutely out, both of those.
And I love just how they just riff off of each other so nicely.
I really do.
Awesome.
Well done. Delicious.
So guys, thank you so much for watching, and Gizzie, a really heartfelt thank you for joining us and telling us all about your fantastic projects, restaurants, and anything else that you've got on the go. Can we make some more oysters?
I was just about to say exactly that.